Hello and welcome to round 10 of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Season 1 in Live for Speed for 2024, the 333rd 333 ever RTFR in LFS at Autocross Mini AVUS Autobahn Extended. A mouthful, but thankfully not a long track. Well, it is quite long in terms of its needle nature, but it is not long in terms of length. Just 1.2 kilometers. This tiny little track that we are going to be enjoying 33 laps of for the 333rd ever RTFR. Lots of threes today. We've just had 60 minutes of qualifying, and we're going to get 33 laps of racing in around about 2 minutes time. Let's have a look at the car we'll be using tonight. It's the Dorito Lucy 130R, a mod by AR92, a 1.3 litre twin cylinder front wheel drive car weighing just over a ton with 124 brake horsepower. So a nice mod this. It sounds like a little buzzing bee. We're going to hear plenty of those things as we've got an absolutely massive grid this evening for round 10 of the championship. We know the combinations for the next two rounds as well. Thanks to Rony for giving us those early so we can bring them to you. And yeah, there we are. Those are the rounds that we are going to have until the end of the 12 round season 1, which brings us to the end of June in the summer. All right, let's take a look at the qualifying standings, how everyone has finished up ahead of this race. It's going to be Gabor leading the way ahead of Mantas. So yeah, a little bit of competition for the boys at the front. There are a lot of cars that have managed to get sub 1 minute 13 times underneath the 1 minute lap time, with 136 and Sidus Unite on the second row. So Born to Race and Sidus locking out the front two rows. In fact, the front three rows, because you've got Stiefler and Rayman there as well, and Rick Cardle there down in P7 with Simbroadcast Adam starting P8. We'll see those guys in less than a minute's time, but we need to bring you up to date with the Drivers' Championship standings as they currently exist. It is Mantas leading the way with 243 points ahead of Rick Cardle. Unite, Asker, Twincam, Pekka Koivunen, Lamuli, Gabba, Rony and Lorenzo round out your top 10 in the championship currently, with a very, very, very large number of drivers following in the overall standings with, well, all the drivers that have scored just 1 point. And yeah, there are a lot of them. So we thank everybody for driving in the RTFR Championship and hope to be adding many more names before the end of the year. Definitely looks like we've got some new faces joining the action this evening, so that's really great to see as well. There we go, 76 names on our list this evening for tonight's action. No Owen tonight, he's feeling a little bit under the weather. I wish him well, and we'll hopefully hear him back for the next edition of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race in a couple of weeks' time. All right, enough of me waffling on. That is going to be that for the pre-show as we head to the track in a couple of seconds' time. Welcome back. We have a grid and we are going to be getting going in just a second's time as the drivers line up, and that is a lot of cars. We have 32 drivers on the grid for this evening's action in the Dorito Lucy 130R as the engines start to spool up, and we are green for 33 laps around the Autobahn Mini AVUS Extended track in Live for Speed. And it's Gabba and Mantas who pull away at the front down towards this hairpin. It's going to be a little bit of a wait before they get there, 2x2 all up and down the grid as we end up at this first hairpin. And, everybody going side by side, nicely done. A little bit of a bunch of door banging further back, and we've got Kid who's done a bit of a barrel roll and has ended up outside the track. They will get the chance to rejoin, of course. But it is Mantas who has pulled up into the lead alongside Gabor, and now ends up in front. We've got LG Meese also with a restart at the back, so 2 drivers deciding to rejoin the race at this early stage, as a whole host of cars. Oh, we've got someone flipping there. That's Rony's rolled it, with a couple of other cars joining him too. So the host is out and will rejoin somewhere down the order, as we have Mantas coming across start finish to complete 1 lap of the track. Rony did warn us about the flipping that was going to be happening, but he's succumbed to the curbs himself, as we've got Oscar and Rayman side by side coming into the first hairpin. That's Rayman driving in the Born to Race green and blue livery there. And as everybody starts to string out, we've got a little bit of one of the drivers who's decided to use an unusual livery. It's 136, the Born to Race there. As we have, who's that side by side with Pekka? That's Jamin, and Yasin just behind as well. Well, these don't just sound like bees, these look like actual bees. These 2 yellow cars fighting with each other. Now 3 yellow cars all side by side. This track lending itself to side by side fights through the hairpins, as Mantas leads, and now over by almost a second ahead of Gabba, as we've got 136 pushing Rick Cardle down the straight, trying to help him along, get him closer to the top 3. And we've got a fight between GT4 and Badaret. Further up, we've got more action with Pekka Koivunen going up the inside of Simox there. And it looks like Yasin wants to join in, as Simox is going all over the shop. Rejoins just behind. Pekka Koivunen can focus on the cars ahead now, as we've got Martin Kapal fighting with Christian. Martin in the sunburn orange and Christian alongside. Christian breaking out of that a bit early, and Kapal goes through. Oh, as GT4 has rolled it on the camera there and into the tyre barriers, and will be allowed to rejoin, but that is the end of any competitive racing that he'll be doing this afternoon, as Mantas is coming up to lap Rony all the way at the back. Rony already getting lapped because he had to rejoin after his flip at the chicane on the opening lap, but Mantas has pulled out over a second, or almost a second lead over Gabor, as we head down the back straight now. As who else have we just lost there? Someone else out of the race. Lara disconnecting. Gabriel Lara. Oh, it's Gabor's onto 2 wheels. Lucky he held it. I can't believe how he managed to hold that. I guess smashing into the wall is one way of holding it, but he absolutely ruined his car in the process, almost rolling it. That allowed Unite, his teammate, to close up alongside and given Mantas a run at the front. So Gabba's car there looking completely mangled at the front right. And well, it looks like Unite is going to have the line. We've got Atta and OA side by side, 2 drivers I am unfamiliar with, but thanks to them for joining this evening and having a fight together. And that's Juka Hedema just behind. And we've got Kid and Mika, who I think both rejoined the race, who are now battling each other at the back as well. And Mika is live on Twitch, so you can enjoy his broadcast there as well. He's streaming his perspective in VR. It seems to be pushing Kid around the lap, so you can enjoy that. You can enjoy his onboard at twitch.tv/LGMeese. Thanks to him for providing us with that. As Mantas comes across start finish, we've got OA on 2 wheels and out. That car is not going to be falling over unless somebody decides to give it a bit of a tap on the underside. It's a little bit far off line. As we've also got Yari Katila, who has had an incident and has rejoined the track as well. But OA is not getting any help there. Oh, trying to wiggle his way back onto his two wheels himself. That's quite interesting. But Mantas is, well, dominating this one. 3.2 seconds in the lead. And as Unite up onto two wheels over the chicane, and that's going to hand an advantage back to Gabba, surely. All these drivers are really pushing their luck over these final chicanes. It looks like such a simple track, but these mountainous final chicanes catching everybody out today. We've had Rony himself flipping it. We've just had someone else roll out of the race, and that was Yassin this time. So 33 laps might be quite the challenge for these drivers, as everybody else except Mantas at the moment appear to be having a little bit of trouble. Dario and Dario gaining a couple of positions. Looks like Martin Capal is now fighting with, or in fact no, Martin Capal has got Adam Badaruk just ahead of him, and some traffic that he's working through. As we've got 136 and Rick Cardle having a fight into the chicane. 136 in the air, launching the car over the first chicane, through the second chicane, but not able to get a move on Rick Cardle just yet. But he does have a nose on the inside. Rick should have the advantage on the corner exit. Yes, he does. With Stiefler and Rayman right behind as well, looking to pick up the pieces. But look how far ahead Mantas is. He's absolutely flying. 4.5 seconds lead at the moment. Let's see what Stiefler decides to do on his teammate. And while he does that, let's get a look at the interior of this car. Absolutely massive steering wheel, but a very nicely decked out interior indeed, as Stiefler gives his teammate and opponent in this race a love tap. Meanwhile, in the background, that's Asker that we're looking at. He's got Lorenzo just behind and Themeli just in front, who is also streaming live on Twitch, if you would care to go and have a look over on his channel. Themeli, of course, broadcast the entire of the West Hill 400 at the weekend, as Themeli avoids one of the cars that was sideways at the first chicane, and well, keeps it together to just stay ahead of Asker. But as I was saying, Themeli streamed the point of view of both of his teammates, as we've got Unite recovering. Unite was the car that was sideways at the first chicane, and you can see that was probably due to a roll. The car is bent all out of shape. Looks like it's been scrunched up like a crisp packet, that one. And Unite has dropped down a long way. Fortunately for him, his left passenger side window is completely intact, so he won't be forking out for any new windows anytime soon. But the rest of the car, not sure about that one. Mantas, meanwhile, on the other side of the track, is going to come across start-finish to start lap number 10 of 33. The laps are rattling away, especially with Mantas in the lead, as we've got now Gabor still in P2, even after that slight incident, keeping Rick Cardle, his teammate, at bay. As Rayman has had a bit of an incident somewhere and has dropped down the order quite a lot, got stuck at the chicane and couldn't get himself out of it. So he's all the way down to P17. It was looking like a very strong result, potentially top 6. But that dream has been crushed. Stiefler now the only other driver really in the sort of position to challenge 136 at the moment, who is seemingly being kind of driven into the back of Rick Cardle at the moment. This is a really strong result for him. A little bit of lag there, but he's back. But yeah, Rick Cardle in the pink machine is quite close to Gabbert, but not close enough to make a move at this stage. But nobody, absolutely nobody, is anywhere near Mantas's current pace. Martin Capel trying to get past Jari Katila. This is a back marker that he's trying to get through, so Jari shouldn't make this too difficult. But giving him a nice old slipstream down the back straight, that's for sure. Oh, down the home straight, sorry. Yeah, and through on the inside. As we have Mantas leaving the final corner. We've got Gabba over and out this time. Finally, the curbs have claimed him. Almost had him the first time, but Gabba is out. We are down to just 26 runners, and it's Rick Cardle now who takes up P2. Both of his teammates have had incidents at the chicanes. Gabba's also, actually, Rick Cardle's had an issue. Because it's now Born to Race 1, 2, 3. We've got Mantas 136 and Stiefler occupying the top 3 steps, and well, that's the first time I've ever said that. I think I don't remember a time when we had a full complement of Born to Race drivers on the podium in Rony's Tuesday Fun Race, but can tonight be the first of such occasions? Well, Rick Cardle's car does look a bit damaged on the front left, doesn't it? He's, well, been involved with chicane or Gabba flipping over a chicane at some point, but at the moment he is currently in P4, and he'll sorely like to get back one of those podium places. Demily's right there as well. If he keeps going strong, then maybe he can pick up a podium if everyone else keeps falling over. Lorenzo in easily the one of the nicest liveries on the track. Soini's had an eventful set of chicanes, and everybody who's had an eventful set of chicanes no longer has a grill left. That's the tell, I guess. But nothing quite matches the damage that Unite is sporting on his Dorito Lucy 130R. That is a sight to behold. 25 cars remain. Mantas is coming up to start lap 14. And, well, as the camera switches round, we flip to OA, who is chasing down, actually a little bit further back than thought. He's got quite a few cars to get through before he arrives at Juka, who nicely goes up onto 2 wheels there. 136 now in second place, a whole 11 seconds back. Ooh, as one of the back markers tries desperately to get out of the way, but to no avail. So yeah, it's Stiefler, then Rick Cardle. This is the battle for P2. Mantas is absolutely checked out at this point. Here we see Atta, who's very exuberantly over the curbs there. Lots and lots of airtime. Trying to catch up to Unite. This is a fight for P12 currently. Got Rayman side by side with Badaruk coming across start finish. Badaruk looks to be well in position to keep P13 as Rayman, well, Badaruk leaves room on the inside and might just as well hand the place over to Rayman if he's not careful. There's plenty of room, and is that Teemu Soini who is following them both? It is. Let's see what this looks like through the chicanes. Teemu Soini, of all the drivers, probably least likely to take liberties at the chicane. Oh, there you go. That's Badaruk straight off into the chicane. We saw that from a pretty unique angle. But yeah, Badaruk straight off into the wall. now Timu Soini gains a place up to P14. So too does Rayman up to P13. Mantas has absolutely nobody anywhere near him here, as he makes his way down to the first hairpin. Just 4 corners really at this track. 2 hairpins and 2 chicanes, and that's it. There is victory lane on the infield, and Mantas, well, knowing the track limits to the absolute limit there, and now he makes his way down to the chicanes. I wonder how much practice Mantas did before this race, because he's got it completely worked out, so much more than some of the other drivers. Hopping over the curbs there, and then around the final hairpin he goes. And up to start finish once again for the Born to Race driver. He is going to come up against quite a lot of traffic as we switch to Simox. Simox, author of quite a few of the layouts that we've used in the past, and he's having a fight there with Pekka Koivunen, who he's just got up to. Pekka Koivunen having a tricky day, and someone else is having a tricky day is Stiefler. Stiefler's had all sorts of issues and has given away that P3. He's had a roll by the looks of it. Almost certainly no, not quite. There's no damage to the roof, but everywhere else there is damage. And well, that's given up the 3rd place that he had in the race to Rick Cardle. So Rick Cardle must have been applying some psychological pressure, because there was no real need for Stiefler to push too hard. As Rick Cardle now really getting close to the back of 136, desperately wanting to get P2 back for himself. So we switch to Themeli in P4, Asker in P5, and Lorenzo in P6. In one of the only custom liveries on the track. Born to Race are nicely outfitted, so too are the race green cars. Lorenzo's giving chase to Asker down the back straight. As at the front, we've got Rick Cardle having made a move on 136 into probably the chicanes. So Rick Cardle's managed to get up to P2 then. As we follow their cars down to the chicanes. As we watch from this kind of wire cam perspective up start finish. We've lost Unite from the race, interestingly enough, and Magic. We've lost some other drivers too. There's the Muli. There's a nice stream of cars that are following down here. Pretty close from Oscar down to Jamin. As these guys send it into the chicane once again. This is the fight for P2 between 136 and Rick Cardle. Oh, really up onto two wheels there, really pushing his luck, trying to catch up to Mantas, but he's got a 15-second gap. There's no way. That is an absolutely amazing gap that Mantas has managed to pull off somewhere up at the top of the circuit. Rick Cardle has got a lot of work to do. Mantas is just exiting the other hairpin as we continue to follow with Rick Cardle. Rick Cardle really pushing himself here, but not able to close the gap to Mantas at the moment. Mantas is all the way down at the end of the home straight, so pretty much half the lap, well, a quarter of the lap that Mantas has at the moment. And coming up behind one of his own teammates. Who is that he's just behind? I think it must be Rayman, who moves out of the way. Mantas gets through, but Rick Cardle is, as you can see, all the way down there at the back. This is a unique perspective of the track, following alongside over the pit lane. As Cardle continues on. Cars are surprisingly quite spread out at this point in the race, so it's hard to pick out some battles. The closest cars on track appear to be Oscar and Lorenzo, fighting over P5 at the moment. As we ride on board with Lorenzo now. And it's quite a pleasant car to be in, and then you arrive at the chicanes and it's quite different by the sounds of it. Here we go. Yep, up onto two wheels. And there are some very nasty extra curbs on the top of there to catch you out. As Lorenzo and Oscar come over start finish. So yeah, this is the closest fight really on track, and it's for P5. Yeah, they come Oscar first, then Lorenzo, but the gap might be opening up ever so slightly. Somebody's knocked a bollard down in front of our camera there. Where is our race leader? Our race leader is here. On to lap 27, 7 laps to go, including this one. And, well, Mantas is absolutely flying. Dominating the action here today. As he flies through the chicanes. Doesn't need to push at all, because he has such a huge advantage over anybody else. Nearly 17 seconds over Rick Cardle at the moment. Simox is closing up to Pekka Koivunen. Another sort of close fight that's going on as they come into the chicane now. Over the big curbs. Oh, as we've got somebody rolling. Sound of someone's roof. We lost Stiefler, so Stiefler, after being in P3, leaves the race. So no chance of a triple podium really for the Born to Race team anymore. That hope has gone up in smoke, unfortunately. As Rick Cardle does not seem to be able to close up to Mantas at the moment. Who's that rolling? That's the Born to Race car that's rolling over. It's not Mantas, it's Rayman. So Rayman has had a roll as well at the chicane, and he's out of the race. So we're down to just 2 Born to Race cars. Started off with a lot more than that, and we're down to just 2 now. Our race leader and P3 car 136. So quite the change of events. As here is Simox, who is still quite close to Pekka Koivunen. And the laps really are counting down now. We've got 4 left, including this one, as we lose another car. And we lose another one yet again. Pekka Koivunen rolling it. Someone following them in sympathy. Was Simox. So Simox gaining that position for free, but ending up in the wall himself. So even with only 3 laps to go, we're losing quite a lot of cars here. But someone who has stood the test once again so far is Mantas. Final hairpin he comes, and on to lap 31, 3 to go. Rick Cardle, who's coming up to the chicanes and navigating a back marker at the same time. 136 also coming through the chicanes, and Themely just close behind as well, a bit wide of the apex, but still a solid P4 performance for Themely. Then we've got Oscar and Lorenzo still pretty close together. Next it's Jamin, Simox, Juga Hedema, and Timi Soini, the top 10. And I think Mantas has lapped everybody up to P9 now. Oh, was onto two wheels for a fairly extended length of time goes Mantas, but timed it to perfection, able to get on the brakes. And we have lost an enormous amount of cars. We've lost, I think, have we lost over half? I think just under half. I think we had 32 starters, so not quite there. We'd need 2 more cars to forfeit in order to have met that, but still a very, very high rate of attrition. And just 1.5 laps to go for Mantas before he signs, seals, and delivers round 10 of season 1 of the 2024 calendar for RTFR. As he sends it into the first chicane, sends it into the second chicane, and absolutely no issues whatsoever, just a bit of a back marker to navigate. But yeah, just 1 lap to go for Mantas in this one. He made it look completely easy. I mean, to be fair, the track does look fairly simple, but a 17-second gap is alarming. Almost the entire length of this, what will be coming on for almost a kilometre long straight that we've got here. And one final time around the top hairpin. And now down the back straight. And before we cover the finish, Thamuli and Asker have had a change of position. Asker's had an incident at the chicanes and has lost some time to Thamuli as Mantas navigates the final 2 chicanes, rounds the final hairpin, and will now have a straight shoot to the start finish. To win round 10 of RTFR in 2024. And there is 136 just in the background, who will come across in P3. It's Rick Cardle this time in P2. Oh, is it actually? Did 136 get past? No, he didn't. Rick Cardle manages to take the P2 slot. 136 just behind in P3. Themeli takes P4. And it's close between Asker and Lorenzo, but Asker takes P5. And that is everybody that has finished. And yeah, as has been noticed in the chat, it's a 33-minute lap. The 33-minute lap, 33-minute race time for the 333rd Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. And it's Mantas who wins. Ahead of Rick Cardle and Born to Race 136. That is your podium. Thamuli, Asker, Lorenzo, Jamin, Simox, Duca Hedema, and Timu Soini, the top 10, with Adam Badaruk, Kid, LG Meese, Rony, Mad Jester, Pekka Koivunen, Jari Katila, Stiefler, Rayman, and GT4 Tube, the top 20. And over on the second page, we'll have a bunch of DNFs. We've got Unite, OA, Magic, Atta, Dario, Gabba, Kapal, Kitty, Hermani, Yasin, Gabriel Lara, and Christian DNFing. And, well, that's a lot of cars that have failed to finish. But one man who managed to finish and takes his place on victory lane is Born to Race Mantas. A good effort from him for sure around what turned out to be a fairly tricky track in the end. But yeah, very, very well deserved from our race winner today on the Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Victory Lane. And, well, he won't be allowed to pick the next combo, I don't think, because he's already won too many in a row. So that choice will... Well, actually, no. The drivers in RTFR don't get to choose the combo. That's a treat for RTFR XL. My mistake, but there we are. Mantas will enjoy the next combo, I think. which is coming up in 2 weeks' time, as we make our way to Kyoto again. So Kyoto, the last time Kyoto appeared in RTFR was last year. We haven't had a race at Kyoto since 2023, and we're going to be running another mod, the Formula Classic 91. So another Formula car for Mantas to enjoy. That will be in 2 weeks' time for the 334th RTFR on June 4th. So that just about does it from us for this evening. But thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you on Sunday for the next round of the Master Race Car E-Challenge, the final round from the Portland E-Prix circuit. It will be Travis Mellinger and Tom Jones in the commentary box for that one. So for more Live for Speed action, come and catch that on Sunday evening. So that's a wrap for the 333rd Rony's Tuesday Fun Race in Live for Speed from the Autocross Mini AVUS Autobahn extended configuration, which proved to be quite difficult for a fair number of the drivers. But from all of us here at Sim Broadcast, we hope you have a great evening, and we'll see you at the next one. Good night.